Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day.
I've got a good one today for you guys. This one's going to leave you shook. Stat of the day is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Here's my stat of the day. Austin Hooper is younger than Cooper Kupp.
You did this yesterday.
Yeah, but I did this
Hooper.
On Twitter.
It's worth repeating. Yes.
Yeah, because Stugotz, look at me. Austin Hooper
Yes.
is younger
I can't believe it.
than Cooper Kupp.
Even though you told me yesterday.
Put it on the poll, please, Chris Cote. Does Mike Ryan need to stop with his Austin Hooper's age fascination?
Have you watched Austin Hooper play football?
I've heard you.
He runs like Mark Bavaro now.
It is a little rickety. The whole thing is moving. It's like
It's old school,
it's
man.
Cameron Brate is a bunch of.
No, don't compare him to Cameron Brate.
No, forgive me. This is what I'm doing. What I'm doing is that at the peak male form of what we're talking about here, it's Gronk. And then level below is Cameron Brate, sort of a whole bunch of body parts stuck together that move, that they don't totally work fluidly, but he's a square going down the field and button hooking.
But they're always open in the end zone.
That's correct.
The body parts.
Then beneath that, all of the body parts are stuck together even more poorly than on Gronk and on Cameron Brate. And that's where you will find what we're talking about, which is Mike's obsession with this person's age.
You could have dropped Austin Hooper in the 1990s and it would have been fine. It would have been like, wow, look at this guy who's
I'd
revolutionizing
go earlier,
the position.
the 80s.
He looks like Madden 97 graphics.
Look up Bruce Hardy and Joe Rose.
He's just a box. A box that when you throw to him, he'll catch it and immediately fall down after 7 yards. Always.
Yes.
Even if it's incomplete, he is falling down.
Okay.
Death, taxes, Austin Hooper falling down.
You need to stop with your fascination.
How is he younger than Cooper Kupp?
It's amazing.
Come on, man.
Shocking.
We all grew up watching Austin Hooper play
Even
ball.
more shocking the second time around.
If you want to get into March Madness, if you're somebody who likes the action of these next 4 days, which are crazy and some of the most fun.
Oh, they already started, Dan. Notre Dame Rutgers double overtime. First game to go into double overtime in the tournament since 2016. First 4 game to ever go into double overtime, I believe.
It's not really a tournament game.
I had to say first twice in a row there, but it was actually correct. It's
called a play-in game.
But it's a play-in game, Stugotz.
Yeah,
and it was
we don't
very
count
exciting. It
play-ins.
went into 2
I know.
overtimes.
I know.
Hate plans, not for me.
Yeah, awful.
I hate them too.
Don't love 'em.
Notre
Yeah.
Dame got what? Like they're gonna get 6 hours of sleep tonight. maybe
Tournament
less.
has not started.
And then they
Let
have to
a
play
committee
again on
select
Friday.
you.
It's
Start
ridiculous.
with
64.
Tournament
But
starts.
the madness has started. All right.
No,
it
has
was
not.
very
No,
exciting.
no, it
Notre
starts
Dame
tonight.
won on St. Patrick's
No,
that wasn't
Day.
mad.
No,
That
it's
wasn't
not
madness.
madness.
No, that
Not
wasn't madness.
madness.
You know what? That was.
No.
That was. This is March.
Yes.
But that wasn't madness.
That was not
Yeah.
madness.
That was
March
hashtag
Madness.
This is March.
This is March. March has already started.
No.
It's exciting, guys. I don't
Yeah.
know what the problem
It
is.
is not.
Like, why are you
There's not been
disagreeing with
madness.
me?
It's not been
I have
madness.
not
There were
seen
some
any
amazing
madness.
shots made at the end of that
There's not
game,
been
Dan.
any
There
madness.
was a
Yeah,
Rutgers
nobody's
player
mad.
who hit
No,
a
it was just
three
a
with
double-
12
it
seconds
was-
left.
it was a-
I didn't watch.
It wasn't just a
It was
close
a-
game.
Didn't care.
It was
Yeah.
a good game.
A double overtime game before the madness began
Yes.
is what it was.
Yeah.
It was not madness. It
Pre-madness.
does not qualify.
Regardless, now
No.
Notre Dame gets to play Alabama, and I hope
Not
they
regardless.
cover.
Not regardless. The madness is not started.
That's
it
right.
starts now.
Is Avery Johnson still coaching them boys?
No, he was calling the game.
Really?
That's the grift. That's the grift. Be the coach, then get fired, then be the broadcaster, and we will gamble the hell out of the next 4 days. But if you want, I would ask you this, okay? If you're interested in college basketball for real and our coverage,
If I have Alabama in my Sweet 16, I had no idea who was coaching them.
if our coverage has been for 20 years insufficient to you
This is March.
on college basketball,
best.
because all we do is get here now and are like, madness, woo, for 4 days, and then we retreat and never pay attention again. But if you want good analysis, test our people here. Let's see if Underdogs, the podcast where the numbers guys are, the guys who are looking for the secrets, where's the secret value? I'm going to study this and I'm going to crunch numbers and I'm going to tell you what's happened happening, go to Underdogs as a podcast if you have interest here, and Haberstroh and his band of nerds, numbers nerds, will lead you down a path of maybe some value. Or we'll laugh at them and hold them accountable when they don't get anything right. Either way, you can find serious coverage of this stuff there. We do the not serious stuff here. We have a soup to go to. Greg Cote says he's got a soup recipe. I'm told we have a song from Jeremy.
Nice.
Jer Bear.
Thank you, Chris Cote.
It's important. Yep.
A soup and a song?
We
Oh
have
my God.
we have a soup and a song, but
What is this, a Panera Bread?
Soup and sandwich on the Greg Cote Show podcast.
What was that? You just shoehorned your podcast in.
He was worried about not
Yeah.
getting in.
I had nowhere to go with that.
Yeah.
I don't know what a soup and sandwich has to do with my podcast.
Nothing.
Yeah, I apologize.
It's all right.
for
You
that.
got it in though.
Yeah. But it's fair. No, I almost said something. I didn't, though. I didn't say it. Judges, he did not say it. All right.
You're the judge?
Yes. And jury.
did you just make a safe call
He
like an
did.
Yes.
umpire?
Yeah.
The judges ruled whether or not I said the F word.
Okay, you did not say fantastic, the F word. The judge has ruled this, but I'd like to
Safe.
I'd like to take our lives back a few moments and just examine why you blurted into a microphone soup and sandwiches on the Greg Cote Show with
Right.
Greg Cote. It was just because you haven't had a window yet to plug your podcast. You're wearing a
Correct.
sticker over your heart for the Greg Cote Show.
Oh, yeah.
With Greg Cote.
How did that
realize.
get there?
Attaboy.
You mean that?
So you're now making the podcast promotions with no care whatsoever whether it ties into what we're talking about. As long as you could build the bridge of putting a sandwich next to the soup for your promotion,
Right.
even if it totally derails the show, even though if you're a show killer again and again, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, and now that you mention it on the podcast, we have
Now that you mention it,
We-
you mean. Now that I mention it.
we have the Babe Ruth of Highlight, Joey, the incomparable Joey
Oh,
Cornblit,
Whoa!
Nice.
who, by the way, is going to be a special guest of Cesta Cyclones owner Chris Cote this Sunday.
What?
Wait a minute.
That's
Did you
right.
actually reach out to him?
Yes, Joey,
I think you just told him on air you were going to reach out to him. I doubt you actually did.
the famous Joey, will be in our suite Sunday.
He's going to be in the owner's box?
That's correct.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
The goat.
That
That's an
is
exclusive.
V-Pool. A listening audience, this is not a rib. This is, as Greg Cote described him, the Babe Ruth of Highlight.
Highlight
He's
in
the,
Miami.
the Sultan of the Cesta.
He was the most famous player in the history of our region at this sport that is a fringe sport but represented gambling in our city. Joey, who's second place on this among the highlight legends?
Can't name a second.
Yep, I dare you.
Yeah, I can't. either.
Only the American one, the Americanized one in the sport.
I
They
remember Toto from Dania Highlight back in the day.
The Cesta Cyclones have a few guys that could go into that conversation. Manny's solid. Carballo.
You just had your first team meeting, did you not?
I met with the team yesterday, and it was just I get goosebumps just thinking about
Yeah.
the connection that I felt with my players.
How
I
you
got
feeling?
I got out on the court with them.
Yeah.
I tossed the old pelota around.
Nice.
They were impressed with. I mean, naturally, they were impressed with my quick ability to pick it up. But more than just that, it was really just the connection I felt with my team. I'm going to be out there this Sunday. They've shot up to second place. We can take over first place this Sunday. I am fired up to be there.
A battle for first at the
A battle
court.
against the Wall Warriors. The
Big
Wall Warriors
time.
who are
Boy.
in first place. It's
I
a battle.
tough, yeah.
Oh,
It's first.
I hate the Wall Warriors.
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah. What a rivalry that is. Wow.
I feel
Solid
bad
defensive
that
team.
I committed to going Chris Cote before I realized Formula One is back on Sunday, so I'm definitely not going to make
Well,
it.
you can can put it on in the owner's
No
box.
way. Put it on.
Can you put it on in the owner's box?
Yeah, there's going to
He's
be a
the
monitor
owner.
and light snacks.
He's the owner.
We're back.
Is it going to be a sad bag of airplane pretzels?
I gotta text my assistant to see if we can get you some we got tickets
Your
for
assistant?
I got Will call everyone if
Your
you need tickets let me
assistant?
know. I'm just saying this is Dan, I'm an owner of a team. It's
a big time.
You think
Big
I can
time,
handle all the requests I'm getting for tickets and all this stuff? I'm trying to get my team focused. I don't have time to be.
When did
Tony's
you get an
texting me. He's
assistant?
trying to bring his whole
You
family.
were my assistant a little while ago, and you were awful at it.
I use that as a base of I need to improve. I need my assistant to be better. So
I'm sorry, would you talk to Jeffrey Lurie that way? I mean, what
seriously.
disrespect about that?
It's ridiculous.
I just didn't know that he had an assistant. That's all. I think the audience would be
He's an
surprised.
owner of a
Runs a
professional
team by
sports
himself? What's
franchise.
the
He's
matter
playing
with
for
you?
first place at the
I mean,
Magic
look at
City Fronton. Battle Court, baby.
As Joey watches.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
What time?
I'm legit excited.
but like that's also not the main sell from it starts
Joey?
at 5. That's not the main sell.
What
from
is
this
the main
episode.
sell?
JT Daly also joined. And we did a full break.
What?
If you're into this musical from the
He's going to
LeBatard
be
Show,
in the owner's box too?
No. This is just on the Greg
He's
Cote.
writing
show.
a musical about your team.
Oh.
The game starts at 5 on Sunday, so make sure to get your seats because they're filling up quick.
Can I get... Is there a waiting list?
Well, I can get you in the box, but for the listeners out there, there's like a nice seating area.
Are there TVs in the box?
Yeah, can I watch the Formula One race or not?
Describe the light snacks.
Yeah, on your phone.
If I call, are you going to send me to your assistant?
It's filling up. They said I have like 20. They said they can maybe go over a little bit, so it's filling up quick, Dano.
It's a party. You're going to bring Miami High Life back to life. You're going to bring High Life. It's the last place in South Florida where it's still alive. Sunday at 5 p.m. Chris Cote of Cinephile and Dan LeBatard Show with Stugotz is bringing his father out, and his father from Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote is going to be there.
Correct.
Oh, wait. Oh, Chris, it's at 5 p.m.?
That's right.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Any other celebrities? Any other people that you're expecting there?
I think Jer Bear said he might come out. Other people in the shipping container, I think, or Lewis and Tony are going to be
gonna
out
turn
there.
into a meet and
This is one of
greet.
those things where everyone's kind of said to me, "I'll be there," but I don't really expect people to show up. Like
Right.
Stugotz says he's going to be there, but
Not
I
going to
don't
be there.
I don't see it.
Yeah. March Madness going on. Smetty, Notre Dame might be playing that day, just so you know.
Against Alabama? No, that would be the next round game.
That's what I'm saying. If they win,
They get their asses kicked by Alabama, then we
I
don't
know,
have
but
anything
if
to
they
worry
win,
about.
I mean,
Who's Alabama's coach?
Nate Oates.
I love oatmeal.
Notes. You know what goes together like soup and a sandwich? Coffee and donuts. And Dan, we have mobilized our investigation unit, our I-team, and Lewis has reported back with some guerrilla journalism. He traveled all the way over to this coffee shop and got answers to your questions.
Okay, so for those who have not been listening, perhaps before now, just know that the show accused me of, I guess, making up a story, right? You said that I made up a story of being in a coffee shop where police officers from the local region would be interested in a Major League Baseball team in this market and would be talking about Miguel Rojas.
It's an unbelievable scenario that you alleged happened
Yeah.
in Miami, which is not a sports town, certainly not a baseball town. You walked into a donut shop, let's be honest.
It's not a
It's a
donut
donut
shop.
shop. And you heard two cops talking.
Yeah,
two
imagine that.
cops talking about the local shortstop,
Yeah.
Miguel Rojas. It's impossible.
Saying he's not a major league player, and you're saying
Far-fetched.
nobody in
It's
this
an
region.
unbelievable scenario.
Yeah,
It's
far-fetched.
weird. Yeah.
This team has not captured Miami's imagination in this way.
And Luis
Stretches credulity.
did an investigation of my
Lewis.
lie.
It's Lewis. He prefers
God
Lewis.
damn it, it's Lewis.
Yeah,
That's a
he's
fun.
told you a million times.
Did Luis do an investigation that uncovered something?
Buenas, ¿cómo están? Yo soy de el gordito de ESPN que él ordena los cafés de aquí. ¿Sabe quién es? Es un señor que viene de ESPN, el gordo grande, que es Daniel, sí, yo trabajo con él. Tenemos unas preguntitas por ustedes, si me pueden ayudar con algo. Habían dos policías aquí hoy hablando de Miguel Rojas, el pelotero. ¿Saben de eso?
Nosotros creo que estaba hablando de pelotero, pero no sé en realidad quién es Miguel Rojas.
Ok. ¿Y saben por qué quizás están hablando de Miguel Rojas acá? Nada. ¿Ok?
¿De qué estaban hablando?
No sé. Ellos me mandaron acá, el gordo grande, me mandaron acá para preguntarle a ustedes por qué esos policías están hablando de Miguel Rojas aquí en el coffee shop de ustedes. ¿No se sabe? Ok. No answer. Yo tampoco sé quién es Miguel Rojas. Gracias.
Okay, so what did we determine?
Lies.
We determined that people get really nervous when you barge into a coffee shop asking, hey, those two cops that were in here earlier.
Thank you.
Amen, brother.
This is when you say, also, big fan of your work. Nice to meet you.
I am a big
Chris,
guy.
you
That
and I
goes
have
without
met
saying.
in person.
No, I
Chris,
know
you
I've
and-
met you. I'm telling my dad to like how to be a human here. You
Oh,
gave
no,
him a compliment,
no,
and
he
he's just
doesn't.
like, yes, you should
He's
be.
unaware
Yeah,
of any of my work.
No,
That's
back at
fine.
you.
Back at
that's good.
you is the
That's
shittiest. It's the shit. Back at you. Do you know who we're talking to here? Do you
Of course.
know? Okay, who is he?
He's, other than the Greg Cote Show host, he's the most preeminent podcaster in America.
Who is he?
Nick Wright.
Who is this person who has come on here and complimented you? He's delighted that you are here
so excited.
because we practically raised this young man before he betrayed us and went to Fox and now wants to feud with me and take the easiest position in the goddamn universe around here, which is just take everyone else's side and go against me. So now I've got blood feud with him, but he's excited to meet you. Who is he?
He's the Fox First Things First. I'm a big fan of that show.
I just gave it away when I
thanks,
said
Greg.
Fox, didn't I?
Big fan of that show.
When you heard me, who else is on it with him?
He's the only. He's so magnetic on the air that he's the only one I look at. I mean, I don't even know.
What time is that show on that you love?
I watch it on demand, so I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Streaming.
Greg, listen, think of the name. If you had, it's called First Things First. Do you think it's a morning, afternoon, or evening show?
I'm guessing it's in the AM.
There, you nailed it.
It's a set
You
your
nailed
alarm. It's appointment viewing. It's set your alarm. Good.
You just said it was on demand.
Yeah, well, sometimes I set my alarm when I remember.
It doesn't go off. But, he's got other things to do. You never know, dude.
Right, I'm a busy man.
You don't know do you know who he hosts? Anybody else who's on this show with him, the biggest sensation at Fox, because he leads their programming for the day with gas bag opinions that are better than anyone at the networks. Anyone over there in sports, there's no one giving you better opinion that's more informed over there than Nick Wright is.
Correct. That's exactly right.
I don't know if we're on the air yet or not. I'm not sure how the pirate ship works. I hope we're on the air. So let me say some nice things first. First of all, Miss Jessica, we've never met. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I'm very happy for you.
what?
That was a wonderful announcement. I'm excited. I've not listened to the first episode yet, but I'm very excited to. So congratulations
to
you.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you were talking about the musical, Nick, or the new podcast that I'm on, because I was also the smash sensation of our big game musical that we put out a couple weeks ago.
That voice is back again.
And you're all should be thanking me for being a part of it.
We're getting paid for that.
I listened to the musical. I reached out to Mike Ryan privately as part of my recruitment effort to bring him to the What's Right team, and he rebuffed me. We didn't have the budget for it, but I told him how happy I am for all of you guys in that regard. And Dan just says all these nice things. And just the other day, I'm listening to the show, and I don't even know how it came up, but you guys are talking about gambling or talking about something. And Dan LeBatard said, I think the following, this I think is an exact quote. He was like, nobody can be informed on all of the stuff we're supposed to talk about, except for Nick Wright, because he has a crippling gambling problem. Like, way to turn a compliment into an insult.
Right.
He's like, Nick knows about all the sports because he's gambling on all the sports. And I'm like, why does Dan know that? Why is it so true? And I'm like, oh, that's right. Because I bore my soul to you in a very, in a public way only for you to use it against me. And speaking of people using things against me, it brings us to Mr. Juju Gotti, who I notice has not turned his camera on, but I will talk to him. I am old enough to remember Mr. Gotti. Once upon a time. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
What you got, Nick? Look out, Nick.
Juju looks like a Sith Lord right now.
Look out, Nick. Nick, be careful here. Be careful.
Be careful, but I'm also going to be honest. It's important that we are honest in media. I am old enough to remember once upon a time, there was a mild controversy surrounding this show because I won't even name names, but a wannabe fail son comedian was like, hey, I'm going to post funny memes making fun of Roy. And people rightfully was like, that was offensive. In fact, I think that might have been racist. And I'm going to tell you something, Juju. When I saw you post the guy from Grandma's Boy said, this is what I see when I hear Nick Wright, I felt racially attacked. So I would like an apology, Mr. Gotti. I felt racially attacked by you for the Grandma's Boy video. Like, that hasn't haunted me since that stupid movie came out. You think I didn't watch that movie? I'm like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to deal with this one. Like, oh boy, this isn't good for your old buddy Nick Wright. So yeah, Juju, I like your work. But I feel like that was, there's a line. I feel like you may have crossed it. That's all I'll say.
You look like Toe Jam from Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh, no!
No! You came for the wrong one, Nick. You can't. You don't understand. Like he will.
I warned you, man.
You just don't. He will embarrass you.
Mike Ryan. All right, if we're gonna do the Nick Wright looks like game, just real question. Be honest with me here. Do I look as much like Franck Ribery as everyone says? And how can they say I look like him when his biggest facial feature is a scar that I don't even have? He's disfigured, and they're like, you look just like him. That ain't great for me either.
that's not great. I'm not sure how you do the French pronunciation on Franck, but not Ribery.
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, my apologies. What is? Oh, you're showing me Toe Jam from Toe Jam and Earl? You guys are mean. You know what? You get 50 million, you turn into some bullies.
Well, you've got
like you sell Paco jeans by the expressway.
Oh, come on, man!
Yeah.
Come on! Come on!
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm a funny looking guy, and they put me on TV, which only speaks to how brilliant the takes are. Like, do you know how good you have to be at the art of television to look like me, and they put you on TV despite that? It's the same thing with Dan's fat face. Like, it's one thing when it was a newspaper writer, but then they're like, hey, we'll give you your own show. It's like, wow, he must be sharp. He's not out there living the good-looking man life, just getting everything, pretty privilege. No. He had to come up through the dirt like me.
Earning it.
That's a true story.
I want to tell
look like, hold on, Dan. You look like you play harmonica for the band Sha-Na-Na.
Oh, no. You're going too far now.
That's 19.
Greg's favorite band.
No, that's not bad. That's pretty good.
70s Sha-Na-Na.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
A Sha-Na-Na reference?
The construction worker.
Bowser from Sha-Na-Na? Like, I can't believe what an old reference that is.
Got a tool belt on.
Wait, there were
Cody's
two
so
bands
happy.
of that era that had a construction worker in it?
Yes.
What the hell is
No,
Sha-Na-Na?
Sha-Na-Na is before Village People.
Right.
Sha-Na-Na.
Way before.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't believe that reference. Nick, I want to tell the people, though, because you're doing What's Right with Nick Wright. And you told me the other day, because I did not know that you were doing this with your son, that you were doing content with your son, and that you were saying how moving that was for you. I was not aware that you were doing that with your son. So what is it that you're trying to accomplish with the podcast? You know there are too many podcasts out there.
No, of course there's too many podcasts. The market is somewhat saturated, Dan. Luckily, mine will have a strong LeBron James tinge to it, and those aren't out there. There's not a lot of people on the internet talking about LeBron, so we're going to cut through that way. We also, our very first episode talked about Tom Brady. You're not going to get that anywhere else. So here's the deal. This was, I almost want to call it a happy accident. I will once again be vulnerable to you so you can use it against me on a one-liner months later. So my son was a big time, I would say pretty big time high school basketball player. It was, we went to a massive high school in Texas, was, a very, very good player, and was getting looked at by a bunch of colleges locally his junior year. His senior year is when Fox hired me. And instead of moving my family to LA, I commuted LA to Houston because I needed to take the job to see what was next, but he was going for a scholarship. That same year, I was gone. He's the star athlete. Things get distracting, whatever it is. And basketball still was a thing, but it didn't go on the exact trajectory it was. And then he played some junior college basketball, suffered an injury, and that was kind of the end of it. And I had always felt like, God damn it. Like maybe I don't take the job and maybe I'm there and maybe, you know what I mean? Like there was something meat left on the bone for him. So I always kind of felt like I owed him.
But hold on, Nick, though. But at this point, this is your big career break, right? You're making a family decision, but you need to do this because to springboard from local personality.
Local radio. Yeah.
Local
to national
personality,
television.
But with no journalism pedigree. So you've had to it has to have been merit. You have to know what you're talking about. You're fighting people in Kansas City. So you're making a decision between your son and a family you love dearly. And I've got to choose myself here because this is a leap I have to make professionally. I've got to try this.
Yes, exactly. And we were in Houston at the time. And so the point is that, and then once basketball ended for him, he did the thing I think a lot of us do in our early 20s, which is like, I got to go do this on my own. Like you guys might have idea. I got to go do this on my own. And he did. He went and, moved away from us and did his own thing and whatever it was. And then my wife 6 months ago opened a boutique here in New York City. And when she opened the boutique, we needed more help around here. So I said, hey, will you come back and help us get off the ground at this boutique? And then we'll see, what's next for you. In that same process, we were developing this YouTube show podcast thing for me with Fox and along with the TV show. And I said to the people at Fox, I'm like, hey, you guys take an interview with DeMonze and see, because it's all being produced out of LA, if he can be helpful on the ground in New York, setting up the cameras, setting up the mics, doing the things, because you need a body here, because God knows I'm the talent. I can't be touching things. Like, I sit and I deliver the takes. Like, other people have to handle those types of things.
Yes.
So you're going to have to hire somebody anyway. So, at least consider my son. So they did. He did a good job in the interview. So they hired him to just really do like the setup stuff and to do behind the scenes stuff. And when we were doing rehearsals, the way it works is, because they want it to be fast moving, because as you can tell, I'm a little long-winded guy. They were like, we need someone in your ears moving it forward, asking the next question. And they suggested, I didn't even suggest it. They said, DeMonze's right there. He's a sports fan. He's good looking. He's got a good smile. Why doesn't he sit next to you and move the conversation forward? So we tried it. And I'm talking to someone who actually knows exactly what this feels like. It's the greatest thrill of my life. I mean, I get to work every day now. And not only do I get to work every day with him, but like, there's a hoops game on, and he and I like are incentivized to watch it together and be like, oh, like, did you see what Durant did? Did you see this? Did you see Kevin Durant complaining about getting double teamed because finally he's not with other superstars? I'm like, yeah, that's just what I was thinking. Great take, son. And so like there was the whole thing. And so I love it. And so it's great. Now, we're 2 episodes in. But I mean, obviously, as this whole thing started, skyrocketing up the charts. And that iTunes algorithm is no flaws. And what that means is when you're skyrocketing up those charts, it literally means more people are listening to you than all the other shows. That's what I've been told. There's no curve. There's no manipulation there. It's just we're that good, that popular immediately. So it's great. It's very thrilling.
You look like DreamWorks Turbo.
Nick, I am wondering, your son's take, a take your son has given that you are proudest of. Which one is it?
Oh, a take my son has given that I'm proudest of.
Yes.
I want to go the other way.
Do you ever have
take I'm most angry on? Go ahead.
Do you ever have take envy? Is there anyone that you slap your forehead and you're like, oh, I wish I had thought of that?
So listen, I'm going to be totally honest here, and this is a compliment, but also I feel like, because I mean, the 2 people in the business that I listen to the most often, and I'm like, God damn it, I think they're better than me at some of this stuff, is you, Dan, on the real important stuff, and Colin on the sports stuff. And I said this yesterday listening to Colin, and then as soon as I tweeted out a compliment to Colin, Juju then fires again with the damn grandma's boy thing. I'm like, oh, I forgot the old LeBatard Coward rivalry. But yeah, it's not often. Colin just thinks of things in a different way. And I'm like, that's smart. And you have a really good way of kind of capturing the 360 degrees. Now, obviously, neither one of you know nearly as much about sports as me, but still, you guys have found a way to overcome your natural lack of sports knowledge. Like, I mean, let's be honest, as far as the sports takes, Stugotz has carried this thing, since it was on 790. Yeah. You know what I mean? Since Stugotz wasn't paying the salespeople. Mm-hmm. We all know this. Yeah. Everybody knows.
How'd you know about the salespeople, though?
I mean, listen, man, I was a local radio guy. It was legendary. Right. It's legendary. It's like, hey, they got a good thing going on at 790 in Miami. You might never get paid, but it's going to be something big. I was like, I'll stay in Kansas City. It'll be fun.
To Stugotz's original question.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, Jesus.
you were mentioning that there was a take that your son had that really pissed you off?
Yeah, listen, we're almost done here, so let's just squeeze in a little LeBron talk if we may. He has the take that everyone else has, that Durant's a better scorer, and Durant's been in the league 15 years. I'd like evidence of it. All I want is evidence of it, because I was watching Durant, because this came up after 53 points, and I heard Doris Burke say something fascinating when he got to 53. She said that is one off Kevin Durant's career high. I'm like, wow, Kevin Durant's career high, 15 years, the best scoring forward we've ever seen. His career high is 54. LeBron James high in the last 2 weeks is 56. Seems relevant. Seems like, maybe one guy's not, he scores more points and has a better field goal percentage and the exact same points per game. And, so maybe we're slightly underrating LeBron's scoring ability and just a touch overrating KD's. That's all I'm saying. That's all. But my son says I'm wrong, and everyone agrees with him. That's the thing, is sometimes when you're as cutting edge as me, you just have to be willing to be Copernicus. It's like, okay, I'll be vindicated.
I really do, that from all the directions that you could have attacked a career that has like really grinding it out to get to a place that it's hard for a radio guy to get to. Stugotz learned it. Like the journalism pedigrees is what he had to slither around. I love that artistically, as you work now with your son and can pass down the privilege of nepotism because you've got jobs and an economy around you, that economy is birthed by you identifying, if I just say LeBron is better than Michael Jordan, I could ride this into the sun. I not only could I make the argument again and again and again because I'm right and I'm Nick Wright, but everyone will hate me for it and they will fight me for it, and it's the dumbest thing I could possibly do.
I know. Ain't life grand, man? It's really unbelievable.
Yep, the best.
Can you only imagine if we were doing science talk radio in the 1920s and someone got rich and famous by being like, you know what, Einstein, pretty good. I think he's the best. And everyone's like, oh, fuck you, man. Well, how dare you?
Tesla's better.
I don't know. I like the Einstein guy. Seems like he's good.
I want to do that podcast. I want to do that.
Really. Copernicus, what an asshole.
You look like you know your way around a pair of nunchucks.
Is that a teenage? Is that a Master Splinter? Was that, or did I just self-own this? Because the Master Splinter's been thrown my way a number of times too. All right, Juju. I never do this. I don't think I've ever done this in 5 years on sports TV. I certainly never did in radio. I fold my hand. I ask for a truce.
Wow.
You know what?
Wow.
How do you play, Nick?
Wow.
That's big.
Not Ja Morant. I want none of the smoke. I am backing away from the chimney. I'm just asking you to take mercy on me.
Okay.
Can we have a truce?
Thank you. That is amazing that Nick Wright would lay down his sword. And to honor him, we are going to play for him a song about Ja Morant.
Just say one very quick thing. Dan, even though, Dan, your fans, some of my fans, maybe even some of my bosses were a little confused. Is this Twitter beef real? There might have been a text like, what is going on with you and LeBatard? I'm like, I don't know. He's a mean son of a bitch. But more importantly, Dan has been behind the scenes, an advocate for mine and a supporter of mine forever. And you know, Mike Ryan knows this. You guys know how strongly I feel about this show and what you guys have created, which is why I'm trying to steal as many of the ideas from it. And if you want just a bite-sized version, I have a 30-minute, twice-a-week podcast you should subscribe to, What's Right Podcast. It's with my son. It'll be great. It'll really make him sad if you don't do it. Thanks, you guys. Congrats again, Jessica. Juju, we're friends now. Bye.
Thank you.
Juju, goddamn, you made him lay down his sword.
Thanks.
I asked Greg Cote if he had a back in my day. He did not, but he surprised me with a secret delight of he did say, I do have, out of nowhere, a soup of the day.
Wow.
Put on your aprons, boys. It's time to step into the kitchen. Here is our head chef, Greg Cote, with his soup de jour.
Well, it's St. Patty's Day, and we're cooking a stewy soup called Dublin Coddle.
Stoop.
And the Irish call it coddle because it takes a minute. Needs some coddling, some love, but worth the time. Start by sizzling crisp a half pound of bacon, or go pre-cooked if you want a shortcut.
Good start.
Thank you. Pan cook a half pound of pork sausage in half-inch discs.
Talk slower.
This is the weirdest episode of the Calm app I've ever
It's gotta be half-inch discs.
Hell yeah.
Calm app for fat people.
Cook one medium. It's not a low-cal soup. Cook one medium
Slower.
sliced onion
Breath here.
in the same pan.
Hold on.
More sexual.
Just stay in the soup. Start over, actually.
Let's start over again. Can we start over
Really?
again? Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
We're enjoying it so much,
They want it to be slow, sultry, sensual, your voice.
Okay.
Make it, food appetizing and erotic.
Okay.
Be Mickey Rourke in 9.5 weeks.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Be Mickey Pork.
Be
Hey-o.
wow.
Mickey.
Oh my.
Really? Deserved a better fate.
Make sure to cook the pork all the way through.
Be David Caruso and Jade.
That's excellent.
I don't know any of these references.
Well, you haven't watched a movie
Neither
in
do
the
I,
theater
Greg.
since
No.
Swing Vote.
No, God, no.
Be Kevin Costner and Swing Vote.
I can do that.
Let's start again.
Okay.
But if he was acting like David Caruso and Jade.
All right. It's St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
The Irish, they call this soup Dublin Coddle. It's called coddle because it takes a minute, needs coddling, needs love, but worth the time. Start by sizzling crisp a half pound of bacon. You can go pre-cooked if you want a shortcut, but better to cook it yourself. Then pan cook a half a pound of pork sausage in half-inch discs. Cook 1 medium sliced onion in the same pan to gather all of those savory juices. In an oven-proof casserole dish or a large pot with a lid, layer the onions, the sausage, and the bacon. Top with a couple of minced garlic cloves and half of a leek.
Oh, that's good. You're making
Mostly some light green and some white sliced. Leek too exotic for you? Sub in a sliced shallot or a few chopped up green onions, aka scallions. Add a couple of bay leaves. Now, top that with 1 pound of potatoes. I like the petite round reds, quartered, little worse in soup than a giant beyond bite-sized chunk of spud. Add 4
So
cups
right about that.
of beef stock. 4 cups of beef stock. You can go chicken, but don't chicken out. Make it beef. Bring the pot to a boil.
Not very sexy.
Cover.
And you're not sounding like David Caruso. You're
And
sounding more
bake.
like Melissa Etheridge.
I don't know. Melissa
Oh, wow.
Etheridge, I love her. And we're going to see Bonnie Raitt pretty soon, just
Don't
as an
fall out of
aside.
character. Don't fall out of
Love Bonnie
character.
Raitt.
Okay.
Just do the sensual
part of the
soup
soup?
guy.
Bring the
Thanks
pot
for the
to a
invite.
boil. Cover and bake in a 275-degree oven. Odd temp. 275-degree oven for a good 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Remove the bay leaves. Stir. Season to taste. And for a total cost of a few bucks and some coddling, you are riding a magic spoon to Dublin. Aye, lass and laddie, this soup is bang on. So enjoy.
Now you sound like Kim Carnes.
Definitely like Kim Carnes.
Yeah, Betty Davis eyes, am I right?
Betty Davis eyes.
Davis eyes, da 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 da. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Catch the Greg Cote Show. I'm on it every week, wherever you get your podcast. Sponsored by Dublin Coddle.
You are so right about the potatoes, I got to tell you.
Oh, I hate the big chunk.
Oh, it's the
Oh, my
worst.
God, it's the worst.
You know your soup, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Little dash of white wine vinegar.
You know what? I wouldn't.
Are you winded, Greg?
No,
you seem like you're winded.
I am
from
not
talking
I've been
about
winded.
talking for
soup.
40
No.
seconds. I mean.